Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov stressed that the Black Sea will never become a NATO sea, because the Black Sea is a shared territory and there must be indivisible security. The Black Sea will never be a NATO sea. This is a common sea for all littoral states. It must be a sea of cooperation, interaction and security. And it must have inseparable security, Peskov said, Thursday. Quoted from Sputnik News, Friday, he stressed, Russia believes that NATO and demilitarization are mutually exclusive concepts. Earlier in the day, Ukrainian Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba called for turning the Black Sea into a NATO sea. At the same time, he also stated the need for demilitarization. There are currently no plans to hold telephone talks between Russian President Vladimir Putin and Chinese President Xi Jinping. Currently, there are no scheduled telephone contacts between Russian and Chinese leaders, Peskov explained. Xi paid a state visit to Russia from March 20th to 22, where he held meetings with Russian President Vladimir Putin. The leaders signed a joint statement on plans to develop key areas of economic cooperation between Russia and China by 2030. U.S. prediction. Ukraine can mobilize its people. War against Russia continues until 2024. The United States, U.S., predicts that neither Ukraine nor Russia will achieve major gains on the battlefield in 2023. In leaked classified U.S. documents, it was stated that the next standoff would force Ukraine to mobilize its people for war. The U.S. Defense Intelligence Agency views that both Ukraine and Russia have insufficient troops and supplies for an effective operation, the classified document said. A classified U.S. document predicts the war in Ukraine will continue into 2024, with both sides achieving only minor territorial gains this year, The Washington Post reported, citing the classified document on Wednesday. The assessment, based on a thorough U.S. study of each side's troop numbers, weapons and equipment. U.S. prediction. Scenario: if Ukraine or Russia wins apart from Ukraine, the U.S. also predicts a response from Russia when facing a stalemate war situation, as reported by the Post citing the document. This mobilization has the potential to be a move that will spark public criticism of Volodymyr Zelensky's government and could trigger a change of government. The document also provides a scenario if Ukraine excels in the war. If Ukraine gains the upper hand, it could force Russia to step up attacks or negotiate. Another possibility is that if Russia wins, the U.S. predicts that Vladimir Putin will demand regime change in Ukraine. Although there are several possibilities, the document says the most probable potential is that Ukraine can mobilize its people. Previously, Ukraine's attempt to conscript civilians into military service proved unattractive to many of its citizens. Russian media, RT, says this is evident from the many videos showing people being forcibly detained in the streets and forced into service. Further, regarding mobilization in the document, it is stated that Ukrainian parliamentarians are considering expanding the draft of their troops. Many of its citizens, already in uniform, have been funneled into the Donbass-surrounded city of Artyomivsk, Bakhmut in Ukraine. U.S. predictions: if Russia's position is urgent at the same time, it is likely that Ukraine will step up attacks on Russian territory, having mobilized its people. This escalation in attacks could force President Vladimir Putin to step up or give China an excuse to begin lethal support for Russia. As for the Russian side, the stalemate will force them to use degraded reserves due to reduced fighting strength, quoted from Pravda. Russia is also likely to speed up efforts to integrate confiscated territories into Russia. Leaked U.S. secret documents. Recently leaked classified U.S. documents revealed that, in February, the U.S. believed Ukraine had suffered up to 131,000 casualties in the conflict so far, including up to 17,500 dead. Establishing the true death toll is difficult, as Ukraine rarely publicizes its losses. Last fall of 2022, EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen put the number of deaths in Kiev at 100,000. However, that claim was denied by Kiev and later removed from the European Union's website. The Post notes that the secret document does not specify whether the leadership change in Ukraine refers to a rotation of political leaders or top military leaders. Officials in Ukraine were reportedly angered by the leak, which also included information indicating Ukraine was not ready for its long-promised spring counteroffensive.